everybody. I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. I was reading an article on AP. It says that spikes in steel tariffs could imperil Trump's promise of lower grocery prices. As many of you know, my daughter works at Walmart. She overheard the two soda companies talking to each other about how they're going to reduce the amount of shelf space for soda because of the rising cost of the cans that it goes in. Then I was reading an article that was on Fox News. Back then they were talking about layoffs at a steel mill, over 900 jobs. Now this was 2024, and as of that date there was only 3 tin steel mills left in the country. One of the companies, steel making company Cleveland-Cliffs, announced back in 2024 it would be shuttering the Watertown, West Virginia plant indefinitely. Now, tin products come from Canada, China, and Germany. Also, South Korea. So President Trump's doubling on tariffs on foreign steel and aluminum could hit Americans. Yeah, where we don't need it hitting us, there in the grocery stores. You know, it's not just big ticket items such as cars and washing machines, refrigerators, freezers, and other household items, but just about everything in packaging that isn't cans, canned corn, canned beans, soda, meats, pet food, soups, and even nuts. Yeah, we're having a whiplash effect with the tariffs that he does say he's going to do, and then takes them away and then puts them back, and we really don't know what's going on. You put these tariffs on these foreign companies, not looking at what's being produced here, and only having 3, maybe it's 4, I don't know. I looked up, on Wikipedia and Google search, but only 3 companies producing tin and steel. China and other foreign companies have been undercutting Americans for decades. It's just too little, too late. These foreign companies don't care about the tariffs. It's just going to be pushed on to the American consumer. And doubling the steel tariff will further increase the cost of canned goods at the grocery store. I have a question for you. Can they put beer in plastic containers like they can with soda? Now, Wikipedia says there is 6 steel manufacturers here in the U.S. One would be Cleveland-Cliffs, Carpenter Technology, Commercial Metals Company, Nucor, Steel Dynamics, and U.S. Steel. In 2017, there was 9 operating integrated steel mills in the United States, down from 13 in 2000. As of 2020, there was only 3 integrated steel mills in the United States. Integrated is where they take the raw mineral, the rock, and all that, and refine it into steel. There was only 3. One was U.S. Steel, another was Cleveland-Cliffs, and then U.S. Steel. That was it. As of 2013, there was 112 what they call mini mills. These specialty mills use iron and steel scrap rather than iron ore as feedstock and melt the scrap in electric furnaces. And there is only four of them listed. That's it. Can Manufacturers Institute President Robert Budway said, doubling the steel tariff will further increase the cost of canned goods at the grocery store. He went on to say that production by domestic tin mill steel producers whose products are used in cans have dramatically decreased in recent years, making manufacturers reliant on imported materials. When those prices go up, he says, the cost is levied upon millions of American families. I don't use cooking sprays, but how many of you do? Those are in can. How many of you use the cheese whip, whatever, the cheese in the spray cans? I don't, but that would be impacted also. Many of the manufacturers depend on the goods the material to make the cans from foreign countries, because here in the U.S. there's not much of a supply. If they do open or reopen any of the old steel mills, that's not just going to happen overnight, and it's going to be very costly. It'll probably be modernized, where, yeah, they use computers, robots to make the goods. So most of the jobs would probably be specialized jobs, people who know how to operate computers. Yeah, it's probably going to take years upon years, if not decades, before we see a turnaround. So what are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.